And that's very important that we could do those things as collaborations and work together. And that's why with LA Unified, Slick, and all of these endeavors, like it's so much synergies of what's going on in this culture right now. It's needed.
And what we're talking about with Clash TV and with Slick is you and I, like, we talking about the technology side.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
on the tech side.
Our culture hasn't had no tech platform where we own it or have distribution and opportunities to own ourselves.
Right.
So now if we could produce the content, feature the content, showcase the content, and give you a destination, right? Then we should be now looking at ourselves as, you know, what is our iteration in Hollywood? You know what I mean? Like, look at where hip hop has grown.
You won an Emmy.
I got nominated.
Yeah, nominated. They didn't give it to you.
Nah.
It's coming.
It's coming, bro. I mean, the way I look at it is like, I'm selfishly, I'm going to keep creating.
You are
like Santa. You know what I mean? Bart O'Meal on the music side.
We going to get to
Slick
that.
from the sports, like from the live streaming games and, you know, comedy and bringing this whole kind of Slick festival where it's fashion, comedy, music, you know what I mean? Summer games, things like that, these leagues. Like, that's all technology. The technology can cover that. And now it's just important to make sure that the right people are piped into the technology. The right people are running the technology. The right people are running production. And now, like, the culture got a platform that they can go feed off of. You know what I mean? Right. And not a platform feeding off the culture.
Did you ever, like, if you took your younger self, do you ever think about how you got here? If you was to go back and look, like, I never figured out how I got here. I just worked so much, and it's like things start happening. I say that because I know a lot of kids. I talk to so many kids, and they always ask what to do, and I'm like, just start doing things. I don't know. I don't have, like. It's not like you was sitting there as the younger 18-year-old saying, I'm going to create Slick, I'm going to create, right? It all just happened because of life, what you go through. And I'm like, that's something. Do you ever look back and see all of how far you really came? Like, you understand? Because it's kind of amazing coming from our upbringing and where we're from.
Absolutely.
Like, I've been part of so many things, and like you've been part of so many things. A lot of shit.
Yeah, it's like a privilege. I wish I would have listened more. I'd probably be a lot further ahead. You know what I mean? I would say that would be my advice. Is like, be a sponge, listen to shit. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to like eavesdrop in a conversation if the conversation is not even on your level.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how many fucking conversations did I find myself in where it's like, oh shit, I don't have nothing to contribute to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, they on some whole nother shit.
This is over my head.
Way over my head. But guess what? I'm it's entertaining. You know what I mean? I'm going to try and figure out something, or I'm going to pick up on some key words that I can go back to the house and research. You know what I mean? I ain't going to fuck their vibe up.
When did that come into play? Like, when did you realize, like, you have to do these things? Like, 'cause see, I was a shy kid.
I'm a survivor.
I was quiet.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say nothing, but it's like, people would ask me, when I started getting into corporate America, I find this is like a big deal for most people, like from coming from nothing. Like, and then the executives in the room would say, so what do you do? And I would take it offensive. I would get mad.
Yeah.
Like, they ask me, what do you do? I'm like, what do you mean, what do I do? I do what the fuck I want. What are you asking me for?
Yeah.
Like, I would take it so negative. Because we didn't understand that they're really trying to build with you.
They're trying to figure out how they can work with you.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out how to work. But when did that happen? Because I'm pretty sure.
We come from a culture of where you from. Hold on, homie.
Yeah, what's that mean?
Come on, dude.
You can't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's what I mean. And it was a real transition to figure this out. I was in my late 20s before I really understood they trying to help me.
Yeah.
Before that, I was so like, man, standoffish.
Yeah.
Like, fuck out of here,
I think for me, man, it was really like, because of my personality, and because I never healed. Right?
That never heal is big.
Yeah, the never heal is big because the anxiety is like, where the fuck am I falling to, Chris?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a long fall, bro.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That is a long fall.
It's a big drop.
And it ain't nobody on this fall that got the time or really paying attention to catch me.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? So it was like...
That's the problem for us as well. Like, when I get around other execs or other wealthy individuals, if they're at the top, they have so many shields that if they're falling, then someone's going to grab them. Other relationships, other friends. And we always, like, when you come up, I'm sure, like, who could help you?
Right.
If you need the help.
Yeah, it's hard.
Man, it's super hard.
Yeah, it's hard when you at the top, like, when people put you at the top of your food chain and, you know, and trying to feed you at the top.
Don't worry about it.
You know, people trying to feed you at the top and you're not mature enough to know how much to eat.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So now it's like you a boss. I'm 20 years old.
Right.
Bro, I'm 21 years old doing all this.
Yeah.
You the boss.
Run it.
You the boss. Like, why am I the boss?
Yeah.
Why do I have to make all the decisions? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I responsible for people? You know what I mean? Why are people relying on me?
We need...
You know what I'm saying?
Again, you need to be talking to more, like, inside of these young kids in the NBA.
Yeah, for sure.
You should definitely be like their liaison.
I feel like
the league's supposed to really
I can relate.
have that
I
whole...
can relate the most to them because you know the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and get them to talk.
Can I tell you, listen. I did that. I went to David Stern when he was the commissioner and tried to get to talk to the kids coming in. They wouldn't let me. He said we already have that. I said, but they need this help. They need it from me. I said, I don't care who you got. They're not gonna relate to them the same way if they're not someone like me.
No, for sure.
You know, going through things and, you know, you made money and then what do you do with money? And, like, you got your whole family. You got the whole hood on your back. Like, what you going to do?
What is the value of money?
Man.
If you are unhappy.
If you're unhappy.
We discuss that all the time.
You know what I mean?
You know, when I listen to you speak about trying, you mentioned the fear you had when you were going to Ruckers, but you did it anyway. You mentioned the fear you had going to Africa, but you did it anyway. And I think that is the difference between being great, accomplishing certain things, and not fear. So many people look at the line their entire lives and stand at the edge of the line and
step over,
never cross it, because the fear of what if. Because they're not thinking about when
fear
it goes
is
right.
just what if, really.
It's always been, but that fear.
It's just some hypothetical shit that's going on in your brain.
It's created. Fear is all in your own brain.
But I'm gonna give you. So when you cross over,
I say that all the time.
When you leave this avatar and you cross over, you're gonna walk. When you're heading back to where you came from, you're gonna walk across the Milky Way. And if you were blessed enough to accomplish everything you want on this planet, when you run into yourself, it's you. But you don't want to run into the guy you could have been if you took all the chances you were supposed to.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. Damn, I could have been that. And so many of us, and then when you get into this, you see that pain of regret? If you're not willing to pay the price of success, boy, that bill of regret is a motherfucker. That bill of regret when you're sitting, where. So you at 44, you have that fearlessness to say, hey, let's try this. Yeah. We're doing podcasts, brother. Like, so that's trying shit. So I think that's when the message here is to see, if you're watching this today and you're afraid or uncomfortable to try something, that's where you're supposed to go. Yeah. That's the sign. Do it. Because that's what's going to make you grow and change and be able to be successful.
Yeah, and when we hoop, we always say, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's it.
Work from that space.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
You can't grow being comfortable. Impossible.
Not at all. You gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep pushing.
It's impossible.
You know what I'm saying?
Who's your toughest guy?
Toughest guy to guard?
To play, yeah.
Man, I just named all the point guards. I can get Steve Nash.
All of them was
Chris Paul. I can keep
all of them was
Kobe,
problems.
D-Wade, T-Mac, Chauncey Billups,
they always tough.
Andre Miller,
No,
man,
they all
these.
you naming dogs.
Every night he said every night I was up against steel, sharp and steel.
Like I can tell you about, you can name a dude, and I can tell you what I was thinking about the night before, and all the way up to the game, guarding him, and everything I needed to do to probably beat him.
To beat him.
That's how you have to
approach it. That's how you approached it.
Yeah.
Damn.
And like all they little tricks and nuances.
How was your trash talking? When you got into your trash talking, what was the worst shit you ever said to somebody?
Nah, I can't say that.
I mean, it's not PG. That's what we want to hear. I'm saying an idea. Give us a PG version of going and why. Where he got you to a certain point. Where was the competitive? Because I know that basketball, it's not like football. You got to face basketball. You're like
a lot of talking,
man.
Man, we didn't just go right outside after the game. And catch a fade. That's all that
talking.
trash talking and shit. Nah, we gonna step this thing.
So you wasn't
outside.
really you
That's
wasn't
that
into
South
that.
Central
I didn't really talk. I didn't really talk trash. Like
Who was the trash? Who talked trash to you? Did you have anybody you remember was talking shit?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. I mean, you know, people get excited, emotional, and you know, you go back and forth, have little rivalries, but it wasn't. Not saying that. Oh, like I'm this hardcore dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's just
good.
like it was just a respect. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like
ran in sets.
Like I didn't really talk shit to people.
So who's the player you look forward to that you know is going to be a game and you want to take? You know, I'm just asking questions.
Jason Kidd was like,
okay.
Jason Kidd was my guy, and Jason Kidd was like
another UCLA guy.
Cal.
California, that's right. Sorry, Cal.
But like Jason Kidd to me was like, damn, like I'm trying to figure this motherfucker out, man. He was so like hard to figure out. You know what I mean?
Every time you played him was something different, or
it was just he was so intelligent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy to me with Jason Kidd? When he first got in the league, he wasn't a good shooter. He ended up being one of the best point shooters at the end of his career. Like,
but like
that's the work he put in.
You say he couldn't shoot, but you can't leave him open because he's gonna make look how many clutch shots he hit. He was just he wasn't
known as a shooter.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He was an assist guy. He's getting you 10, 12, 15, no problem. But one of the things I noticed about
his assist.
He was one of the first players that I would see cross you with the same one hand.
Yeah, he had
cross
you
with one hand.
But the thing about Jason,
switch hands with the ball, boom, boom.
The thing about Jason Kidd
he was a problem.
His assists,
were
almost like points for him and points for his teammates.
Yeah,
and so like that's where his genius kind of lied, right? Like you can have a point guard that scores 6 points, get 12 assists, get 11 rebounds, 8 rebounds, 2 or 3 steals, a block. Like he was doing all that shit. So I was trying to figure out, how do I be more like that? Like how do I be able to like chisel away at the game? You know what I mean? And then work the flow back into my favor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was like, that dude was like he was like a mad scientist as a player. And then like he always kept like the same demeanor. So like he didn't say much.
Yeah.
So you couldn't like, you had to really like try to read him and like be in his mind, be in his space. You know what I mean?
He was really good.
That's dope. That's dope to hear that.
You know, so we finished. Went through this. Of course, basketball would never end. We could talk so much about it. We're probably still gonna go back in it. But I wanted to ask you about your music career before we stop this podcast. I want to get into your Bart Oatmeal.
Get a bowl.
Yeah, let's go get a bowl, baby. Get a bowl. Oatmeal's better than no meal. That's my slogan.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
just slogan.
But go get a bowl of that Bart Oatmeal. But what was the driving force? Again, it's obviously when I see artists like you, you have a natural. I've been in the studio with him countless times, made so many records with him, but he has a natural gift, and I would tell him, where does that come from? Like, cause you could freestyle, and then you could just start coming off the top, which people could do. I get it, but you catch rhythms and flows and those are the things that I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's the difference to me. Like that bounce, those bounces, those flows is what makes hit records. And I would tell you this from the very beginning. And again, I'm not a producer.
Yeah.
In the traditional sense of a producer. And I always wish I could get you in the room with a real producer that could produce you and you would listen to, because that's the key to producing, listening.
For sure.
In a sense of, and I don't know if you did that with someone or not, where they take those parts that you come up with and then say, all right,
stay there.
This is this part, but finish it up here. And then you do it because you have that ability.
Yeah.
See, you in there, you blowing it down or whatever it is, and you get in your zones and you go and you give me pieces. And I'm like, no, I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
Yeah, no, you
know what I'm saying?
But
it's like that's you could
it's
you
like
could
drill
do
in
it.
right there. Yeah.
You know, and I'm gonna keep it 100. I've been in the studio with a lot of the rappers. I mean, basketball players. Amon Shumpert was very good.
He's incredible.
Very, very good. Amon Shumpert was very good. I haven't been in with Dame. I heard Dame Dollar.
Dame is dope.
He got his some shit.
They dope.
AI.
Was
nigga.
dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
Baron fucking Davis, nigga.
Yeah.
I promise you, and I'm not a bullshit. I don't blow smoke, none of that shit on nobody. If it ain't real, it ain't real. Now, I would tell niggas, you got that.
Yeah.
And again, Dinero heard your shit last night. We drove home. He's talking about your shit all night. He's like, wait a minute. Who picked this beats? He asked you that question often.
That's the first thing for me is a skill. Picking beats is a skill. Chris has that skill.
Yes.
People don't know, most producers that lined up with his brother, he
Yeah.
could hear something.
Yep.
And so the first thing I'm listening.
Shit, Irv would go to L.A. and Jai would be in L.A. and they tell me send beats.
Yeah.
So most of those albums, it's because I picked those fucking beats. If I didn't, they wouldn't have those beats.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the fact yesterday how you broke down the idea of the record before the record was played.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got an idea of who you are. So I always look at the mad scientist behind. I'm like, all right, super damn, but this kid fucking NBA, like the things you've seen. I said, damn, he's got to get this out of his system. This is something that's always been there.
Yes.
So it's important. You know, these are things you want the world to know.
Right.
You have charisma, you know what I'm saying? And in the fact, it's still scary, the fact of being accepted in that.
Stepping over that line.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
You got to step over that line.
And the balance of him being him, because I listen to his music and it's him. He has a great pen. You write all your shit up.
Yeah.
Telling stories, and then you got to get with the West Coast vibe of certain wording.
That's where he's from, right?
Of course, but this is the beauty of it. Remember, in our era, Chris, we got introduced to what was happening in the West Coast, not by Instagram, by rappers.
By rap, that's fucking right.
I fell in love with what was going on in the intrigue of the West Coast, and it seemed scary at the time because we didn't travel as much.
Yeah.
And it's like, our travel was Miami, and that's because the bricks was down there. I ain't talking about the ones you shoot. I'm an I-9 to 5 like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
We did that all day.
All day.
17 hours, I'm going to tell you.
9-5,
3
baby.
stops. DC.
Real interstate boys term.
My first stop is Richmond. The next one is right there when I get to South Carolina.
I was gonna say Charlotte, North Carolina.
Nah, Richmond got me there. That's why I'm going right through them north south. I try. Georgia's a motherfucker. I'm trying not to stop in that bitch at all. But what I'm saying is that, that's a whole different ballgame. But listen,
Different animal, boy.
Different animal. You can't
Boy or girl.
Hey,
easy.
Boy. You know, it all depends. It all depends what time of the month.
Yes, let that
If
sink
shit
in.
was tight, you might have to. You feel me?
Yeah.
But now it's all green, Papa, so we good. Outside, you don't have to. The game has changed. Yeah, we're super safe. You take all this shit. Call my lawyer. Like, I'll be home. I'll be home tonight. Say nothing.
Yeah, that's
Listen,
a fact.
but what I'm saying is that when it comes to you're incredibly creative. I'm really like I'll never say somebody's whack, but if I don't think you have it, I just won't mention it. I won't say anything. Chris will ask me what's up, and I'll be like, oh, and I'll change the subject on him. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't ever put out nothing negative or criticism because the universe is constantly listening. So that's not my job. My job is either to congratulate or to keep it pushing.
Right.
I'm like the Grim Reaper. I'm not gonna tell you. You're gonna figure it out on your own. So when I seen, I was talking to kids. I said, "Damn, who picked the beats?" I said, "Cause I know what it takes to create." We discussed that, and I said, "Yo, he's got a sound." I was like, "Boom!" And then my biggest thing is, what's the marketing plan?
Right.
Because now everything is marketing.
Mm-hmm. How you gonna get people to know it exists and the audience to get it too?
No, you're in a different challenge now. So you're in a unique business that we're in now. So if I told you, "Hey, Batman, we're gonna do business," great, then but by the way, we're giving the product away. Yeah. You're like, well, how the fuck we gonna make money? So when we and Chris started, our job was to have someone hear us on the radio and then run to the store and buy a CD. Yeah. You have to trade off someone's time. Are they willing to give you 3 minutes, 2 minutes, a minute to listen to you watch the video? That's the trade-off.
That's your trade-off.
And within is a stream. Yeah. Obviously, you've been blessed financially, so it's not you're not the kid who's doing this to get his mom out the hood with the music. So I could tell you're in your music, your age, where you're at, that whole see what I've loved about the West Coast, they've always been. You come around, you be like, that nigga's a killer. He's so cool. Laid back. Yo, in New York, it's all hate. You be like, yeah, he got like 9 bodies here. We just had ice cream together. He's talking about he gonna get on my record. Yeah, we gotta do him.
He put in work.
No, they're different. No, it's a different. It's like they know how to turn it. Like the rest of this shit. How about this? You know what I love about West Coast dudes? They're romantic, homie. Sunday, they take their car, they wash their car early. Yo, they take their shorty out.
We ride, love ride.
Oh, by the way, don't be in the Bay Area talking about you spend money. She got the bag. Yeah. Like their mentality, the pimping mentality,
Bay,
right?
In the Bay, yeah.
Yeah, how they compete for men is, baby, I could bring more to the table than she can. So I'm noticing, and that's hip-hop brought us to these cultures.
Putting paint where it ain't.
I got to do a rap from the paint. Putting paint where it ain't. Yeah. That's my man. So I started to understand. Because, hey, you know what's crazy?
Paint where it ain't.
Yeah, he from the Bay, and then I brought him when I was the president of Maybach Latino, and he was the first artist I brought down. Yeah. But he was Cuban, first one I had it, but AG. So you know what he comes down with? He brings a shorty down with him. And I said, "What's that about?" He goes, "She gonna hit that pole, boy."
He pimping.
He pimping, yo. So listen. I managed him. Listen.
Hey, bro,
no, but that's when he's a Cuban kid from the Bay, and this is all he knew. Yeah. And she was 8, and she was like, that's my dude. I'm just what we doing. So I remember we had the apartment in the yacht class with John. Yeah. So I was managing, but when we managed, he was like my son, he was a young. So he'd bark on her in the morning if she didn't bring enough money. Then the OG would come in, because that's just what you do. You out all night, you didn't get right. So I would grab him. No, because I knew how. No, you know what's crazy? Yo, this is the irony of it. Hey, Chris. Yo, hey, this is the irony on it. Check this out. His musical budget depending on her. Let's leave it at that.
That's right.
Besides him doing his shit with the weed and the stuff. So I was watching him, and that's hip hop. That's what. So I would give him advice in the morning. I said, look, I'm not gonna knock your hustle. I said, but you on her, right?
She going out too early.
I said, no, listen.
We in Florida. We in Florida. People don't wake up.
She's out in the morning.
I was telling you, you know what it is?
The biggest customers come in from 9 to 8.
Listen, she would end up.
Hey, bro, you can't be pimping at the 7-Eleven.
Hey, you know what club she worked at? Tootsie's.
Okay.
Right? So what I'm saying is that I would tell him, I was like, I was giving him business advice, like,
King of Diamonds will bring it in better.
Listen. Listen. Then she loved him, but she would start complaining to me about him. So I'll never forget when he tells me he got another girl pregnant in the bed. Like, we work in this project, he got another girl pregnant, and he tells me, he goes, she don't know yet, right? And I was like, I didn't understand, like, why would she care? Like, I said, you love her, she love you, whatever. I said, obviously she love me. So he goes back, and he goes for a week and comes back, and he tells her, yo, I got another baby. That whole week that he was gone, she was just complaining, crying, and I didn't understand. But the Bay Area aspect, getting back to that, the Cali dudes, yo, I've always admired. I don't know if it's the weed
or they're pimping.
The pimping is. No, listen.
You always admired their pimping.
Listen, I always admired the pimping.
They pimp strong.
So I'm strong. Hey, so strong the pimp hand that I learned. Like I'm known. I'm Don Dinero.
Yeah,
that's my name. You know,
you ain't using that to your pimping capacity.
No, but check this out.
You ain't pimping.
I own the strip club in Miami, and most of the strip clubs in Miami I know. So and the strippers know me, and you know what they know me for?
The money.
I don't spend $1. I buy you a drink. That's about it. We can have some advice. I don't spend $1
in the strip clubs
because the pussy's free. That's the trick. Oh, you told me that. The reason the pussy's free. Pussy's free. You don't have to spend $1 and it's free. So I know that. But that was the West Coast mentality. That was me fucking with AG, fucking with Gold Toes. Gold Toes manages Burner.
Yeah.
Fucking with Gold Toes and understanding the mentality and how they looked at New York dudes who spent all that money. Looking at us like we suckers.
Yeah.
And you have to be in other cultures to understand that. And they all, and it was just a culture. It wasn't wrong or right. It's just it's how they look at shit.
Yeah, it's a culture.
You know what I'm saying? Compared to what do we do?
Green for the money, gold for the honey.
But anyway, getting back. So what I'm just trying to tell you is that when I heard your music, I was like, yo,
he's a pimp.
But hey, he got it in him. He got
that West Coast
of course. Yo, listen, but the West Coast, listen, you start to realize,
crazy.
No, hey,
I can't tell. I got a heart.
Yo, listen, Gold Toes tells me.
You got a heart in the hose.
Oh yeah, you got Gold Toes. He
has an East Coast heart.
You know, Gold Toes is I didn't understand the beef. Look, when I never forget my first show I did in LA.
Yeah.
The promoter gets up, and mind you, I'm on top of my game, Don Dinero, and I walk into this club, and I see different groups, one here, boom, boom, boom. When I go to stage, it was almost separated, and the promoter, after I was done, like he said, he says, yo, there's 7 gangs here. We had to separate. I said, this is incredible, no beef. But I didn't realize that 7 gangs. Like I didn't realize the gang from New York. We said fuck the gang culture when crack came around.
Yeah,
we used to be ball busters, this and that. When crack came down, now 163rd, bro. Don't you know what I'm saying?
That was your gang.
That was my gang, the block.
Street,
so
the block.
When I went over there and I realized, yo, and I'm interacting, I'm talking to homeboy, but I gotta talk to him, and they're taking pictures, and the other clique is waiting for me, but they don't. You know, when you have fans, all your fans are around you waiting for you.
Yeah.
Nah, you better service every. Yo, go see a.
Yeah.
You know, little Bobby with the tattoo on the side of his head, he came to see you. Lil Pepper's in the back, he's from that side. Then I realized in LA, the North and the South, not in LA, in Cali. Gold Toes goes, yo, I just did my first interview with a sureño? Norteño, sureño, the Southerner. I said, what's the big deal there? He goes, we don't do. He's a Southern. I just did his podcast, and I'm hoping to do it to open up. Because I just signed, I'm a Norteño, I just signed my first Southerner to my label.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't start to realize goes back to, they're born into this.
Oh yeah.
This is not, I'm gonna be a blood at 19 in New York because I like whatever, no disrespect. I'm just saying, this is you're born and bred in, these are generations. And mind you, I've seen it from the Latin side.
Yeah.
Because when I've gone to, dealing with a lot of that end of it, and I was like,
that's big time. You know what I mean?
That's crazy right there. So.
And so to get off the pimping.
Hey, respect your pimp, man.
But how long would it take you to put this project together? I know you said you was working on it for a minute. I know. And then what was your biggest challenge? Is it just getting over from making these records? What's your biggest obstacle for you to do it?
I think my biggest obstacle making the music is just making the music. Right, just the time, finding people to produce the time,
right,
or finding the
right
record,
sound, the right song.
How'd you come up with that title?
Bart
O'Mill.
Yeah,
Bart O'Mill is the legend. The legend is Bart O'Mill. So my son actually came up with the name.
Okay,
his name is L.A. And I used to call him L.A. Oatmeal. And he was like, we was watching The Simpsons, and he was, he was like, I'm Homer. He like when Homer kept saying dope.
Yeah.
So he was like, Daddy, you Bart. I'm Homer. I was like, no, you L.A. Oatmeal. He was like, no, you Bart Oatmeal. So we start going back. So then I start really developing the story around the character, about this ultra personality.
That's crazy. You
know
know
what I mean?
See that because I bought oatmeal.
When I hear, so I'm gonna tell you for me, because out in San Francisco, I know that's the train, right?
Yep.
I'm thinking that's where he got it from. I'm thinking it's Bart, and I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
what the oatmeal part was,
Yeah.
but it's going right to Simple.
And then,
Simpson.
yeah, it's basically
Simpsons.
yeah. Because if you look at the character, I wanted to like, how can I get this music out without being Baron Davis, without people saying, "Oh, here go another basketball player rapping," and why the fuck is he rapping, and why does he want to make money and all that? And it was just like, man, I just want to do this shit for the love, because you know, I be around all these musicians, and you know, I'm watching people write, and I'm like, God damn, dude, I write too. You know what I mean? Like, I write plays, I write movies, I write scripts.
Right.
Like, and music is like the foundation of like how all this shit kind of come about. Yes. So Bart Oatmeal was like, man, if I can create my own little penny character, and then like, he can say whatever the hell he want. Yeah. And then Baron Davis can be Baron Davis. Then I can create, you know what I mean, this
Get
character.
yourself a bowl.
And, you know, our slogan is get a bowl. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just recipes and, you know, just being original, you know, being so that's collaborative.
The records you got on there, like your recipes to the...
Yeah, it's just all the ingredients.
Again, I always try to get in someone's mind and figure out how you put the pieces together.
Yeah, it's all the ingredients. So it's like... you know, when I was coming up with it, it was like, you know, oatmeal got variety packs. So when I was creating, I wasn't creating for a specific type of album. I was creating for like the variety packs. And so each pack would be like a different type of collaboration. You know what I mean? And so like it gave me a chance to practice. Oh shit, I love, you know, like be a fan and practice. So now I'm getting to practice with LA rappers that me and Term listen to. You know, me and my bro every Saturday night, we chilling, we smoking, we watching YouTube videos, we listening to music, playing dominoes, and we listening to all the artists that everybody like. Yeah. And so now I'm like, oh shit, I get to go make a tape with Jay Worthy. You know what I mean? Like, I've been fucking
Shout with Jay Worthy. He's dope.
I've been fucking with G Perico. I've been fucking with Don Kennedy. I've been fucking with Jay Stone. I've been fucking with Mr. Fab, Glasses Malone, Problem. Like, I've been a big fan of theirs. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's just automatic. You know what I'm saying? And so when I find a song, you know what I'm saying? Some of the songs, like with the G Perico song, it was funny because he had already laid the verse. Mike and Keys was like, yo, listen to this. And I was like, fuck that, I'm jumping on it. You know what I mean? So I like sneak some, you know, in the beginning, I was like sneaking my verses, you know what I mean, on like unfinished verses, and then going back and playing to them. I'm like, man, who is it? I'm like, man, that's me, dog. Like, I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Right. You know, so it's like really like anything.
Creating your opportunity.
Anything you can type of opportunity.
What's crazy is that's how I got Cat. I mean? That's how I got Caddy.
Yeah, that's how
Cat like Time with Murder Inc. That's how I did it. While Irv would go away, I put him on records. Yeah. And then Irv would hear and like, who the fuck is that? It's like, oh, that's Caddy.
Yeah.
Because you know how to get to Irv.
Yeah, because his mind is, he's doing him.
Yeah. Tunnel vision.
Yeah. And to your point, like, you know, man, you can, time. Right? So I know No ID don't have a lot of time because he working on big ass projects. He don't have time to sit there.
Right.
Be like, do it. What's up, man? Happy birthday. Hey, bro, it's my birthday, man. Where my beats at? Can I get some beats, bro?
Send me a pack.
That's it. I go do the work. You know what I mean? I'll come back. Yeah. I'll play it for you. You know what I mean? Then you'll tell me if you like it or not. But, like, my whole thing was, like, if I can just get the beats, then I can, like, start creating the vibes I want. Then I start producing. I was like, all right, well, fuck it. Let me start building out my camp. Now we just start making the music that we want to hear and the shit that we, you know, like the recipes that we want to cook up.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Got some chefs and the kitchen's open.
Yeah.
The kitchen's open.
And then now it's like at the heart of collaboration, it's like, all right, now my music coming out, now I can collaborate with everybody. I can collaborate with young and upcoming artists. And it's really to like create a pathway, you know what I mean, where people can start to get to, you know, success, or, you know, define success not by just monetary value, but by being a part of a family. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because success, we don't know what kind of we don't know where success is for us. You know what I mean? But if you do the things that you love, it's gonna open up all kind of doors and opportunities.
Man, I'm gonna stop right there, man. I appreciate everything.
Thank you, bro.
You got anything else before I get off that you want to talk about? And when is Bard Oatmeal coming out?
Bard Oatmeal gonna drop in June.
Okay.
Get these records cleared, samples cleared. We'll be good.
We get them cleared. Catch and come before hanging.
You know what I'm saying?
If they don't, we putting it out. Let them take it down.
And then what else? What else I got? Oh, I got some house shoes coming out. We got some shoes. We made some shoes.
Another thing I want to talk about before you go off is Black Santa, man. That's another,
sure.
You know what I'm saying, thing that you do for the kids and give back, man. And it's always good to see those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That whole thing. He gives the whole Black Santa and goes out and does a lot of drives.
Black Santa is, that was created because the thought was we don't see black men as superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could create our own characters and our own Santa Clauses, right, then we can create our own mythologies, our own stories.
That's right.
You know, when I hear you talk real quick, I don't know you, but I got a flashback of like you 6, 7 years old and like really going through it and saying, when I become something, I'm not going to let another kid feel, you know what I'm saying? Like I see a lot of the things you're doing is connecting with the young youth. Young, that was like, what is my world going to be? Dad's and mom, just got my grandmother. Yeah. I noticed that, just in general, because there's no really monetary, you're really just trying to help and guide. And at the same time, you have things you need to let out of your system, from creating music to, I still think the best is your life ahead of you. Right?
Oh, yeah. I do too.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do too.
And damn, I commend you, bro, because we need people like you on this planet.
Appreciate you.
You feel me? That have a lot of scars, we all do. Yeah. But have managed to, sew them shits up and say, let me try to make a day a little bit brighter for somebody else. Yep. So that's dope, man. Commend you for that.
Appreciate y'all, man. It's a dope ass show.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna get it. We got a great interview here.
Definitely.
Thank you for giving it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is Chris Gotti Lorenzo. I'm partner Don Dinero.
You already know, Mr. Money for the Gringos.
Again, this is Giving Them the Business. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and don't forget to get the merch.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Go get that merch.
Go get that merch.
Go get that merch.
Go support.
We got that.
Appreciate you, big
love,
love,
Thank Baron Davis again, and we out.